Sugar man! You're on your own there. I don't even know the word. Yes,
Hi everyone, welcome to the Cola Club podcast. So this is the last episode of the year, and which traditionally it is also like a special episode we do around Christmas time. So Chang, tell us about what we're gonna do for this last episode.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be like a year-end review recap episode of what has happened in our podcast for the past year. And maybe exchange some Christmas goodies.
Yep.
And yeah, just to say thanks for tuning in for 2022.
Yep, absolutely. So thanks for following us on 2022, and it is like kind of a 2022 recap Cola Club podcast versions. So
cool.
First I brought some Christmas theme
like Santa.
Santa. So we have some crackers which we're gonna play like last year. This is a traditional.
We brought a lot.
We probably had just do two.
Yeah, just do two.
We just hide here.
I think it's probably in the frame though.
I think that's okay. Yeah. I have a present for you, Shan.
Oh my god!
I got one too.
Oh my god, this is so cool! Where did you get it?
It's from Santa's workshop.
Oh, is that like an online website?
No, it's a joke. It's like I got it from Santa's workshop.
Okay.
It's like Christmas.
I could not tell you were making a joke. I thought it was a legit business.
I thought you serious.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cap merchandise.
Very cute. Oh my god, this is so nice. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Should we wear it or?
Probably not.
I'll put it aside. Maybe put it here.
If you want to buy this merchandise, hit us up.
Hit us up, please. That's it. That's for the show.
Okay.
Let's explain this game of crackers.
Yeah. So normally around Christmas lunch or Christmas dinner, everyone would sit around the table and each person. So you would hold one side, and the person next to you would hold one side, and you would both try to pull. And whoever gets the firecracker or whatever that cracker is inside is the winner.
There's a prize inside. There's something inside.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about the prize.
Let's demonstrate this so it's easier to understand. So like you hold like 1, 2, make a really loud sound too. So
I won. So I get a prize. So it's a crown. Oh, plus a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, and stickers.
You forget about the joke.
Stickers.
Yeah.
So you probably can't see this, but I still have the sticker from
last
year.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
So you can have two. I'll have two.
Yeah.
Okay, joke.
Ooh, very cute.
What do you call a man who claps a lot at Christmas?
I don't know. Clap man.
Santa Claus. I feel like that's a good one.
Yeah, that's really good. So like each of these come with like a kind of a dad joke or a bad joke
And a
around Christmas.
sticker and a crown.
Yeah, and typically you get a crown and then you like wear. It's like a funny hat.
Like this.
So you wear it around Christmas table. So yep. So let's do
Let's do
this.
another one.
You don't want to wear? That's a tradition.
One, two. Oh, you win this
cool,
time.
I got this one. Okay, so let's see what I have. One more. Oh, so that's a joke.
Ooh, it's an envelope.
Yeah.
With...
Did you get the envelope?
No. This
No?
is just... Ooh.
Oh, this tiny.
No way.
It's like tiny
Cards.
cards. Oh, but this one doesn't have any face. But this one has 2 faces.
Oh.
It's very
What are you
weird.
meant to do with it?
Just for decoration, I think.
Oh.
You can play, but magic poker cards. Wait,
The font is super small. You probably need
that's
your
very
glasses.
small. Yeah, I can't read that, but I'll read the joke. So, why did the donut maker sell his shop?
Why did the donut man sell his shop?
Yeah, why did the donut maker sell his shop?
Because he do not want to make donuts?
No, because he got fed up with the whole business.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's one more question. How many sides does a snowflake have? That's a question, that's not a joke. How many sides does a snowflake has?
Is it
Okay.
7?
6. Close.
Oh, close. Cool.
So I have a crown too. Should I wear it? Do you want to wear a crown?
If you're wearing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try, but I don't know, my head's normally very big. So, does it fit me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
By the way,
alright.
we did not color coordinate our clothes.
Yeah.
Kevin rocked up wearing green and I just picked a red shirt and
Yeah, because normally Christmas you got what? Red, green, yellow.
yellow.
So yeah, you're matching pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for the games. Let's do our recap.
Yeah. So I think we had a pretty good 2022. We launched our YouTube channel back in June. We got quite a few listens from there, which we were quite pleased about, and just glad that we have an additional channel for listeners to listen our and access our episodes on.
Yeah, and thanks to our YouTube channel, we can do something like this.
Yeah.
You know, which is probably more interactive and you know, a bit more video for you guys. So that's really cool. So very pleased with that. We're still on, you know, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and we got good numbers from there as well. So our traditional method of, you know, listening is still there. What else we do? We have, I feel like we have many more guest speakers during 2022, which is something that we kind of aiming for as well. And I feel that is a very good segment to bring like a diversified area that our listeners may be interested in, especially the, you know, the mini course overview series. I think that's very helpful and very, very fun as well sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the course overview series and listening to our guest speakers' stories and just their experiences, because it's so different to, I guess, what my field is, accounting, and your field. Well, you're one of the guest speakers too for civil engineering.
Yeah, it was an honor to be on one episode, which is very cool. So yeah, very different as well. You know, sit on the other side of the table and being interviewed. Yeah. So you coming up next year?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So just some rapid fire questions for you, Kevin.
Oh, rapid fire questions. Yeah, sure.
So what do you reckon was the most fun episode we did in 2022?
It's got to be the 10 ways to save money as an international student, right? That was in 2022, right?
I think so. Yes, 2022.
Yeah, yeah, I quite like that episode because it's pretty. I did not expect it could be that. It was very fun and a lot of the tips that I'm kind of too embarrassed to share somewhere else. I just throw it in there. So I like the thing like when you attend a random workshop in uni and get free food. That was pretty embarrassing, but
Yeah, well, fun fact, because you know how we interviewed UW Vice Chancellor Professor Patricia Davidson.
Yeah.
She actually mentioned to us that she
Yeah,
listened to
she
that
did.
episode and that tip. She
did
laughed
too.
at that.
Yeah, she did too. She quite liked that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she did that too back in the days. What do you reckon?
Who knows?
Maybe.
Or maybe they didn't have that many workshops back in the day.
Oh yeah.
With free food, free pizza.
Yeah.
Domino's was probably not around then.
Yeah, I guess now after COVID, kind of reduced and people back to campus normal, there's going to be many more workshops like that. So you guys make sure to take advantage of that tip and score some free foods. Okay, so question for you, what is your most memorable episode that you...
I feel like it was the episode with Professor Patricia Davidson.
Yeah.
Just because it was such a high profile guest that we honestly thought we probably couldn't get that high profile guest onto our show, but she very kindly said yes, and it was really interesting to hear about her experience with nursing, how she started out with nursing and what the uni experience was like back then and how it's the evolution it is until now. And it was just quite fascinating to hear like her insight, especially because we asked her about the COVID pandemic and the economy, and just to hear her professional insight on that, which we didn't think about, just like on the wider macroeconomy scale of not having enough migrants into Australia, hence workforce and the economy could be impacted. So just really interesting. I really enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, quite enjoyed that episode too. It's quite refreshing as well to hear like a lot more perspectives from not just through the media but actually from herself. So her view about international students' educations and how the university in general tackling the pandemic and how they can bring advantage in new technology like online learning and stuff to benefit students better in this current situation as well. So that was quite interesting. So if you haven't listened to that episode, we'll link it down below, and have a listen to that. Yes, please do. Okay, so should we go through our stats? Just really cool stats that we've gathered both from our podcast host website and also from our Spotify Unwrapped, which you probably saw like stories everywhere of your friends sharing Spotify Unwrapped, but we will be sharing our Spotify Unwrapped stats as well on our socials, probably by the time that this video comes out. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you want to start off? Yep. All right. So it's been told we are being listened across 16 countries and 6 continents. And the most popular countries that our listeners reside in is in Australia, Vietnam, USA, India, and Canada. So I think that's great. Like, when I was really surprised when I saw it. I didn't know that we got that many that wider reach, towards that many countries. Yeah, it's quite fascinating, especially the 6 continents. Just so that we're global, we can claim. But no, I'm not surprised about Australia and Vietnam being the top countries. Yeah. Particularly maybe because we target like Australian, students who are already in Australia, and Vietnam being our home country. But I'm quite surprised about US, India, and Canada. Which is cool. Absolutely. So I'm quite surprised by that as well. But that will show you because. In a way, like Australia is a very multicultural country, and students from everywhere, including countries like USA and Canada, they also want to come to Australia to study either through exchange program or just study abroad. So in a way, that makes sense as well. Yeah. So some Spotify Unwrapped stats for you all.
So our podcast was the top 25% most shared globally.
Woohoo.
That is pretty amazing.
I know.
Thank you for sharing. Please keep sharing.
Maybe like half of the share from me.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's our shares.
But still very impressive. Like I would think top 25% most shared podcast globally. And to think of like, if you think of how many podcasts there are around the world, that is, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And also like we experienced like a good growth in 2022, evidenced in a 25% increase in followers and 44% increase in streams. So that was pretty good. I remember the day when we just have like you, me, and a couple of our friends and family.
Yeah,
so like
I know.
4 or 5 followers.
Yeah, we would count each follower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, even though our follower is not that huge number by any way, but if you just compare to the first few days, it's like 20, 30, or I don't even know, but like, that many times over is quite amazing to have that.
Yeah, and I still remember when we first started, and I think we had like 11 followers at the beginning.
Yeah.
You said, well, as long as we create good content for those 11 listeners, that means that we're doing meaningful work.
Yep.
So I think that's always stuck with me. Like, doesn't matter really how many followers we have, as long as we create good content for them and useful content, and they like our podcast and find our tips interesting and helpful, then that's why we're here.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's perfectly said. Which, speaking of which, we are in the top 20% most followed podcasts, and one of the very cool snapshot we have is we are the top podcast for 25 fans. So I think like we are the number 1 podcast for 25 people, and then we are in the top 5 podcasts for 78 people and top 10 podcasts for 108 people. So yeah, it's I feel really good when I see that, because it doesn't matter, like to me, like yesterday, for example, not yesterday, but when we started, right? Imagine like there was no one know about us, so no one actually listened to what we have to say. But now 25 people have us in their number 1 podcast list, and 108 people have us in their top 10 podcasts. That's amazing.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and to release every episode thinking that we're bringing value to those 108 or a few hundred people in general, that is, really, really good feeling to have, and that's what keeps us going as well.
For sure. Yeah, so let's go through the top 3 most listened episodes that we had in 2022. So number 1 is actually an episode we released in 2021, and it was the 3rd episode we released. It was A Guide to Internships in Australia for International Students. So I'm still like amazed by that being the most listened episode in 2022.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so people come back to listen to that more in 2022.
Well,
that
it could be new listens.
Yeah, new listen. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, so pretty amazing.
Yeah. That was a really good episode we recorded. I remember vaguely now. Because it's the 3rd episode.
So our 3rd episode.
Yeah, we just started.
We were still amateurs.
Yeah.
We're probably still amateurs now. But it was a very detailed episode, and I'm glad people found it useful.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Yeah. I mean, for us, if I was an international student all over again, and as an episode or someone talk about internship and share their own personal experience, I'd be thrilled, because it's very useful and help me less worry about internship and make it less scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, be sure to check it out if you haven't listened to it. Okay, so the second one is one of the course overview series, Bachelor of Computer Science, featuring Ling Chen. So yeah, I like this episode a lot too, because it's one, they talk about a very hot bachelor degree right now, computer science, especially after the pandemic. The tech industry is just booming, and the demand for job in the tech industry, whether it's software engineer or data analyst or anything software or tech related is very high. So I think the timing couldn't be better when we make this episode. It's very useful for a lot of our listeners who's very interested in or already doing the course. And Ling is just such a high profile students, and she's very successful even now. So I feel like we interview her, bring a lot of good stories about her personal experience and her journey on how to get a job in Australia and how to study well and do well in her computer science course as well.
Yeah, and I really loved hearing her passion for computer science.
Yeah,
it was quite amazing to hear.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable episode to interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the third most listened episode in 2022 was another course overview series episode, and this one was the Bachelor of Commerce featuring Annie Mai. So this was the episode where I interviewed Annie, and Annie is an old friend of mine, and we really enjoyed speaking. And I guess because her major was accountancy, but her career path is not the traditional accountant path, which is really cool. So highly recommend you guys check it out if you haven't listened to that one. Yeah,
definitely. I remember because I was editing it and listened to it afterward as well, and you can clearly tell her passion for the industry and for her job, and her passion for innovation as well. So not just traditional accounting, but she finds way to utilize technology into it, in the digital world. So that is really, really good.
Yeah, I feel like that's where accounting is heading. So very insightful episode.
Yeah, a lot of industry is heading that way, and that's why that episode is so cool and so helpful to listen to. Yeah.
Cool.
One of this one is not in the list, but it's still one of my most memorable episode, which is our last Christmas episode. I remember because that was the first time ever that was the first year of our podcasting, right? And that was the first time ever we say, okay, let's do a Christmas episode. I remember we didn't even know what to do in the episode, and we decided to talk about everything we experience here in Christmas in Australia and how Australians celebrate Christmas. So be sure to check it out, guys, because that is a very fun episode as well.
And we did have the cover photo of us wearing this. I still have that image in my head of me wearing an orange crown.
Oh, you remember?
Yes, I still remember that.
Let me give it a try. I think mine is green. I think mine is green, but I'll have to double check.
Yeah.
It was very fun. Did we know that? Was that during COVID lockdown as well? Or?
Was that? We did it through Zoom.
Yeah. But I couldn't remember. It was.
I think we just came out of lockdown, but we were still cautious.
Yeah.
Wow, a year has passed.
I know. This is our second year podcasting. And so we've gone a long way, and along the way we enjoy every moment of it, and definitely we want to say great thanks to our listeners, and you guys, every click, every listen count, and every follower is a boost in motivation for us, to keep creating content for the channel, and we hope that we can bring good value to you and keep doing so.
Yeah, so this is my typical line, if you haven't followed us on our social media, we are on Facebook and Instagram at the Koala Club Podcast. And as mentioned, Kevin mentioned before, we're on Spotify, Apple, Google, and YouTube. Yep,
definitely. So I think that's a wrap for our recap for this year, and hopefully we have many more to talk about next year, and we try to do this one way or another as a tradition or a Christmas time every year. So from our Koala Club Podcast, we would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Enjoy the festive season and listen to our podcast whenever you have time.
Yeah, sure. It's gonna be very busy for you during holiday, we know, but whenever you want to spend a little bit of time to just relax and zone out, just you have our podcast to listen to.
Right. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Okay, thanks guys for everything.